Ah, yeah. So this is something that was supposed to start like 2 years ago. It's supposed to be a bit of a diary about what we get up to in the rectory, the different projects and stuff. So hopefully we'll be covering stuff like fiberglassing, making merch, organising upcoming shows, obviously the cars that we're building down here, 3D printing, a few other bits and bobs. But taking into account I was supposed to start this 2 years ago, I'm not sure how regular this is going to be. But, you know, we'll give it a crack. And the first show, as if it's going to be a show, the first video I'm doing, and maybe the last, will be catching everyone up to date on the MX-5 project that we've got going on. It's a bare shell that we bought off Dave, like David Deep Car Auto Bodies, like 5 years ago now. We actually started doing fabrication work on it last April, so April 2020. You know, when that whole lockdown thing happened, and I was like, well, might as well crack on with something. Still working at the time, but you know, obviously couldn't go out and be social or talk to anyone. So we started doing a bit of work on this. When we first bought it, it was relatively rust-free, and Dave sold it to me for the bargain of 50 quid. Relatively rust-free. All the holes that you'll see in it are pretty much ones we made ourselves. Usually in the wrong spot. In misguided ideas of something awesome to do. Which basically led to it still being this sort of state that you see at the moment. Like I said, it was reasonably rust-free when we got it. There was a little bit of rot on the rear of the sills. That's all been cut out and replaced, both the inner skins and the outer skins. Which really, that's the only thing we had to do to it. So, you know, 18 months later, we're in this stage, mainly because of stupidity. I don't know why, but I thought inflicting this stupidity on you lot would be, you know, a good idea. Yeah. So, like I said, I was supposed to start this 2 years ago, when we started doing all this. Probably won't happen again, so don't bother subscribing or liking or anything. But in the meantime, I'll show you what we've done so far and some of the parts that we've got lined up for it. I'm not promising anything. Alright, turn this round. Because, you know, better me being on that side. Don't have to see me then. Flip this around. Feel cute, might delete later. That button. So here we go. Well, fair warning. Never really used a gimbal before, so this is going to be interesting. You'll probably see the walls and the floor more than the car, but here it is. This is the shell that we bought off David Deep Car Auto Bodies about 5 years ago. Started getting bits out of it last April and collecting parts. Like I said, it was fairly rust-free when we got it. Just a little bit of rust on the rear of the sills, which has been patched up now. Apart from that, most of the holes are our own. And there's a few of them. Clever is not me. Anyway, so far, we've done quite a bit of fab work on it. Those of you who've seen the previous car we built, I suppose the best feature of that was a fairly empty engine bay. We'd tucked all the wiring away and got rid of the brake master cylinder and servo, clutch master cylinder, hidden some of the wiring and stuff, and got bored of that one really. Decided there was a few things on there that we didn't like and realised there'd be a lot more cutting and welding on it and moving the stuff around. So decided to start another one. What you might gather on the way through this is not always most clever decisions made. Anyway, so here we go. On this one so far, we've cut out and replaced the firewall because we wanted something smoother and got rid of the scuttle. Of course, the scuttle usually mounts the wiper motor and the linkage, and it doesn't anymore. So motor's going to be going the other side of that bulkhead there, so it'll be in the passenger compartment up behind the steering wheel. And we've remade another linkage for it out of carbon fibre. And if I wander over this way, here's the linkage. Just the standard parts, but we kind of made some, haphazardly glued together some carbon rod and some rose joints to actually make the mechanism, which will hang in there a little bit. But the idea is, spindle motor comes up there, moves the linkage back and forth, wipers move. Awesome. We have tested it, promise it works. The hole up there is for the washer bottle, which again will be in the passenger compartment, but it's going to have an aero cap over the top of it. Bit like that, but with a bottle on the other side and some water in it. The inner wings were a bit of a patchwork. When I first bought the shell off Dave, we shipped it off to someone to do a little bit of fab work on it. They got rid of some brackets and tidied up a few things. But the inner wings were a bit of a patchwork, so we decided to cut them out. And we put some strengthening tube in to help support the shock towers. Put a load of tube work through the inner wings, reinforced with 2mm steel and stuff. So it's all nice and strong. Skinned the inner side. Though it's been open to the air for a while, so we've got a bit of surface to rub down. These holes here, they're going to be covered with a carbon fibre plate and just bolted on. The engine bay at the end is going to be white, so it's going to be all white and carbon fibre and a few feature bits of red. When we first started, this was going to be a V8, and it's a bit more than that when we get round to the boot. I'll show you that when we get there. So the inner seam was cut off and welded shut to get us a bit more clearance. Because it's up here at the back, they've been cut back to get us a bit more clearance. Again, for the V8, we've got our 1UZ, which now we've decided to put in a pickup, so this is getting a standard MX-5 engine. So those bits, a bit pointless really. Some more holes down here, that's where the 2 oil coolers are going to go. One for the supercharged oil and the other one for the engine oil. And we're going to use this side for air intake. Walking round a bit. There's a few other bits we did underneath. Like I said, the only real rust was the rear of the sills. The chassis rails, so they were a bit pummeled. So we've cut them off and replaced them. And we've got a Skid Nation butterfly brace over there to go over the top of them to keep everything a bit stiffer. And this gimbal doesn't want to do anything I want it to do. I'm sure I'll edit that out. Yeah, right, now you're getting that as well. So yeah, the chassis rail's been replaced. We've already cut the rear parcel shelf and drilled all the holes for the GCF roll cages going in. Also putting some GCF roll bar, sidebars in. The interior, yeah, we're not fitting carpet or anything. Because I might have to hoover that. So it's just getting painted and left bare. Leaving the dash out, because I'm not right good with interior trim. I'm sure I'll live to regret all this, but that's what's happening. Aftermarket heater box to try and get something in a bit smaller than the standard one, because that actually takes up quite a lot of space. The brakes and clutch, I said, pulled off all the servo and master cylinders and everything. And I fit in the remains of the OBP pedal box that was in Project Bankruptcy, which unceremoniously, just loitering around there. It was a floor-mounted box that I bought from OBP for Project Bankruptcy. It was in there for about 2 years, but didn't really like the floor mounting, so chopped it up and cut it around a bit to turn it into a top mount, which will mount pretty much where the standard one mounted, from the steering column, bulkhead and everything. Moving around to the back, oh yeah, no boot floor. Because someone had a really cunning idea of cutting out the boot floor and putting the radiator in there, because, you know, fitting V8. Not fitting V8 now, so pointless hole in boot. Also wide arch in it, so the arch has been cut back and the inner wing's all welded up. Mount over that side for an aero cap for the fuel tank. I'm going to show you that too close because that still needs a bit of refinishing. As is most of the fabric actually. We're really good at cutting holes and then tacking stuff in place. But the actual, you know, cleaning stuff up ready for paint, that's taking ages. But you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Seam welded. Cut out the standard seat mounts because we're fitting the same manky Elise seats that I've had in the last 4 MX-5s, bought them about 10 years ago now, second hand. So they really do need a, oh look, there's one here. They really do need a retrim. But I find them really comfy, so they're going to go in and we might eventually get around to sending them off for retrimming, but wouldn't hold your breath. Got a large collection of parts to go into it. We've got the CAS diff that's been in the last 2 Mark II MX-5s. Got the 6-speed box that was in the last, 2 MX-5s. Really into recycling parts around here. Not sure why I'm showing you the floor. Look, there's floor. Grinder. Car. Gonna have to make a custom wiring loom because we're not fitting the standard fuse box and relays. We're fitting a AIM Motorsport PDM and accompanying screen, running the engine off a Mega Squirt 3 with expansion card. Got destroy or die suspension to go in along with some tying Flex Z's. The arms and all that are new for this project, but the tines are off the old Mark II as well. We really do try to really use everything. Like I said, the seats now, I think I've had them in 5 different cars. The roll cage here, that's actually Nico's old one. Bought that off him 2 and a bit years ago. Random bonnet, that I'm not sure which car that came off. But venting and stuff, got some vents from Beggy Motorsport to go in there. Got the coolers, one for the supercharged oil, the other one for the engine oil. Assorted pipe work. That's the heater box that's going in up there. I'm sure it'll keep me warm enough. Okay, I'm not sure it'll keep me warm enough, but you know, we'll give it a crack. Over here, the battery that's going in, along with my old soldering. Oh, the other seat. This one's in slightly better condition, but not much. We're fitting the flush mount headlights from JAS. Intercooler! Mishimoto radiator that Claire bought for me 5 years ago. That's been on 3 MX-5s as well, but it'll go on this one. Wheels and tyres that I sized incorrectly for the last MX-5, so I'm not sure why I'm trying to put them on this one. And then the most finished bit, the whole car, otherwise known as the bit that I haven't done. We sent the engine out with my old VVT away to Keith at Rock Mods, and he's given it a bit of a refresh for us, a bit of powder coating. Got Rotrex supercharger going on, because yeah, I got carried away again, didn't I? And Vindy went and posted up that he was selling a Rotrex kit, and I foolishly said, "Oh, okay, I'm for," because you know that's the stupid sort of thing we do. I think that's most of it. I'm sure I've left out loads of stuff, but you know, if anyone wants to know anything, just give us a shout. Oh, bash bar over there, but we're making our own for the front, I think. A few other bits and pieces. Oh, sill mounts for sill stands. as the gimbal goes crazy. So sill stands are basically little A-frames that slide into the sills, bit more secure than the normal axle stands, and I'm kind of envisaging this being on them quite a lot. So I thought it was prudent to fit them at the same time. Apart from that, we're at the point now where most of the fabrication has been done. Well, most of the cutting for the fabrication and welding random bits in has been done, but as you can tell, there's still a lot of cleaning up to do on the welds, a few little patches to do in places. So that's what we're working on today. Cleaning it up and stripping stuff back, generally finding out where there's more stuff to do. But yeah, gotta crack on with that today. Oh, well, that's what we've done. There's a recess over this side for the hydro handbrake. Really should have mentioned that one. It's over this side of the car. Why bother walking around all the time, isn't it? But there we go. Recess for the hydro handbrake. Some mounting points for the alloy foot rests. Passenger side and driver side. That's about it. And it's probably about the level of quality you're going to learn to expect from anything I post. Yeah, scruffy Welshman talking randomness in an empty gap. So that's about it as it stands. Still loads of stuff to do. Like, subscribe, don't bother. It'll be another 3 years before we post another video. You can stumble across it then. Probably the best thing to do is join the club. So forum.combustionpunks.co.uk. And there's a few of us posting there. Some of the bigger builds are going onto the website, combustionpunks.co.uk. Hooded Reaper's got quite a lot going on. He's just finished his K11 Micra and sold it. And now he's doing a Colt, which looks like it's going to be another interesting one. He's mainly been blogging on the website about the Micra, but it looks like the Colt's going full video. So go and have a look for him. I'll post a link in the description. Yeah, catch you in a bit. Bye.